What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Crypto Cabin. My name is Tom, and in today's video we are going to talk about how I think Q4 of 2021 is going to be shaping up for a big time bull run and potentially into 2022. So, without any further ado, let's jump right in. So first up here, we're going to look at a few articles that talk about quite a few different things, actually. The first one is this one here on Bitcoin. So declining Bitcoin prices triggers a renewed interest as number of small-time investors grow. As we all know, there was a crash fairly recently. It cleared out about $150 billion of market cap. That brought the market cap kind of down to monthly lows. But the effect was actually that there have been an increased number of small-time investors stocking up on Bitcoin. So the amount of wallets that hold 0.1 Bitcoin actually shot up. We always know that the whales load up on Bitcoin. The whales always do. But there's also a number of smaller investors that were buying up that dip because the prices dipped back down around $40,000, which is super, super interesting. So whales always accumulate, we know that, but smaller investors are popping in too. And one way that we tracked this from last cycle was the Google Trends, actually, for something like searching for the term like buy Bitcoin. So back in 2017, near the 2017 top, which was November, December actually, you can see that that's the highest it's ever been, was 2017 December, which also coincides with the peak of the 2017 bull run. So if we switch this to weeks, it'll be easier to see. So December of 2017 was the very, very top of the last bull run. We can see here that when we look at Google Trends, January, February of this past year, 2021, is the second highest it's been, and that's when we went on this parabolic run here, January, February, when it went up to 40,000 after the halving back in May. So that's the highest it's been, but as we can see, it's been slowly coming down, and now it's just starting to tick up slightly over the last couple months. But according to this, we have a long way to go before retail investors really start piling in. So that is going to be something to keep watching for as well, especially since here we have, like I mentioned here, the smaller addresses are increasing in size right now. So we'll need to see how this plays out in the next coming weeks and months here as we head into quarter 4 2021 and quarter 1 of 2022. The second article I wanted to talk about here today is Coinbase introducing paycheck deposits to US citizens. So this means that if you're a Coinbase user and if your employer uses direct deposit, you can take all or a portion of that paycheck and have it be directly deposited into your Coinbase account, which is incredibly simple for anybody who's wanted to maybe get into this space but didn't know how necessarily. It's just a really easy way now for something to come off your paycheck. It could be $10, it could be $20, it could be thousands, but it's something that it can come off every paycheck, and that's going to help people dollar cost average into their favorite projects, whether it be Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever, without even thinking about it. They can just set up that transaction every 2 weeks, every month, whenever you get paid, which is incredibly simple and is going to bring, I think, quite a few people into this space just because of how easy it is. So users will be able to receive their paychecks as a dollar balance or translate it into the cryptocurrency instantly. The feature will be made available in the coming weeks. So it's not currently out right now, but it is coming, Coinbase says. When they receive their paychecks, it can be deposited through direct deposit, which is incredible. Like I said, super simple, super easy. It's going to be available to employees of any U.S. company that uses via or pays via direct deposit, which is a lot of companies I know out there. So that ease of access and how many people this can potentially reach is incredible. So it's going to obviously solve the problem of banking transfers that are super time consuming and inconvenient, that when you normally would like deposit into Coinbase per se. So it removes that extra step. Normally you would need to get paid, right, from your work, and then you would need to go through and deposit that money into Coinbase if you wanted to do that. But now it can just come straight off your paycheck without even thinking about it. So that is something that I think is super bullish and is going to be added in the coming weeks here. So again, something super bullish, setting up for Q4 of 2021 to potentially go on another big run. This next article here, she mentions many reasons why Q4, September, there was a sell-off. Obviously, we know that. But a lot of reasons why Q4 could potentially be a big month for Bitcoin and then the rest of the altcoins as well, because they normally follow suit with what Bitcoin does. So we know that we experienced a sell-off in September. There's a lot of China FUD, the Evergrande collapse. They did get bailed out, as we knew they would. China bans Bitcoin. So many times I posted a video on TikTok or duetted a video on TikTok about this is the 7th time I think that China's banned Bitcoin. And the majority of the time after China bans Bitcoin, Bitcoin goes on a little bit of a run. So could potentially be bullish long term for it. I know short term normally there's a sell-off, but longer term normally there is a pump after China bans Bitcoin. So we think that September, if everything follows according to history, or to plan according to history, September here is usually a very bearish month. So if we blow this tweet up here from Michael Vandepop, September normally is in the red. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 7 out of 9 years, September is not such a great month. But then you reverse that in October and November here. So potentially setting up for some pretty big gains here in October and November. We can see in October and November of 2013, the first time they pumped hard. That would have been the bull run of 2013, 2014. And then the last bull run of 2017, 2018. So this is the stretch that we were looking at from last bull run, October, November, December, when it went up 47, almost 48, 53, and almost 39% in 3 consecutive months. So not to say that, and even last year too, happened very similarly there. So not that it's going to happen necessarily, but that is what history is showing, and we could potentially be looking for as well. Heading back to the article here, so if you follow Lark Davis, or Crypto Lark, I believe is his YouTube name, he's mentioning a lot of things about how Q4 could potentially shape up to be something incredible, but there's a couple warning signs as well, obviously. Whatever's good for Bitcoin normally is also good for the other altcoins, so if Bitcoin does this, like we talked about, altcoins usually follow suit as people take profits from Bitcoin after it's gone on its run and then slowly put it into riskier and riskier plays. That's generally speaking how it's gone in the past. He also mentions that the rally this year in Q4 could go beyond. So we're basing that on the fact that the Bitcoin cycles seem to have been lengthening. The last two, they've gotten a little, well, the second one was a little longer than the first one. So then it could potentially make sense that this one is a little bit longer as well. So it could extend out to 85, 95, or 100 weeks. So that would take it into quarter 1 of 2022, because the halving was back in May of 2020. So we could be heading into 2022 here and still be a part of this bull run. The Bitcoin supply kind of peaked in 2020, and now it is getting harder and harder for people to buy. So that's basically economics 101. As supply, if supply is decreasing and demand is staying the same or increasing, then the price is going to go up. There's also speculation moving forward that there's going to be a Bitcoin ETF near the end of 2021. I know there's 5, I believe, that are proposed all in October and November. And if one or two or a couple of them like get approved, that could be something that brings a lot more money into Bitcoin and drives that price up. There's also the Ethereum merge, which basically moves Ethereum from proof of work to proof of stake. So that is happening hopefully sometime in Q1 or Q2. So that could be another thing that potentially extends this bull run. There's been increased adoption this year. Like we've had big companies, obviously like MicroStrategy and Tesla buy, and then potentially further adoption from companies like you mentioned here, Apple, Microsoft, Uber, and Netflix could, or Facebook maybe could push that trend even further with bigger companies coming in. This time around, I'm going to add in on this, but we also have countries adopting Bitcoin as legal tender. So El Salvador has done that. We'll see how that experiment goes. But that's another big thing. There were no countries that, were involved last time. Now there are. Getting some more regulatory clarity is huge here as well. So this whole Ripple SEC lawsuit, a lot of people are talking about it as kind of like the tipping point. So if Ripple wins this lawsuit, that kind of sets the tone for a lot of other cryptocurrencies. If they lose it, that also sets the tone the opposite way for a lot of cryptocurrencies. All indications are so far from what I've read and seen is that most likely scenario is they settle, Ripple gets some sort of small fine, slap on the wrist, and away they go, which could be extremely, extremely bullish as well. That would bring some more regulatory clarity to the space as a whole, and then people would maybe feel more confident investing in the space. So lots of potentially bullish things popping up. However, he's got lots of potential catalysts here, potential reasons that could invalidate this if none of the Bitcoin ETFs get approved, if the SEC starts going after every exchange and crushes stablecoins, because I know they were going after Coinbase right now, but I think there's something else going on there. They might be kind of in bed together, so to speak, and not want anybody else or have that be their main way of doing it with stablecoins and lending and all that. Evergrande contagion. So if that spills over into other areas, the Fed tapering down, dragging the stock markets down, because typically, they have been fairly correlated, stock market and crypto market, but like he says, there's a lot of big money in crypto now, and they're not afraid to sell it for cash. So if we get a lot of the big dogs selling, that obviously would negate the bull run as well early. There's a few different things and reasons why. We talked about a few different articles here, tweets and research from a couple of different well-known crypto presences online, and also Google Trends is another big one to keep an eye on as well. We are way down here, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see this start to tick up in Q4, and off we go. That's the hope anyway. We all want it to go parabolic, I think. I don't think anybody doesn't want that. However, be smart, take your profits along the way, and I'm super stoked for the bear market. That is, I think, where the real wealth is going to be made. If you take some profits here along the way, say Bitcoin doubles, usually altcoins go up a little bit, depending on which ones, but they'll go up a higher percentage than Bitcoin. So if you can 2 to 3 to 4, maybe even 5x your current portfolio, take some profits along the way, and then reinvest that back in during the bear market, in my opinion, you are going to be in a much better position heading into 2024, 2025, maybe 2026, when the next bull run comes around. Not financial advice, just my 2 cents. And as always,